It's time for Net at Night with Amber MacArthur, Leo Laporte, and a new social network designed to help you share your favorite content with your friends. Stay tuned. Net at Night is next.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Audio bandwidth for Net at Night is provided by Winamp. Subscribe to Net at Night and all your favorite podcasts with the ultimate media player. Download it for free at winamp.com. Video bandwidth for Net at Night is provided by Cashfly at CACHEFLY.com. It's time for Net at Night with Amber MacArthur and Leo Laporte, episode 160, recorded July 20th, 2010. GetGlue. Net at Night is brought to you by GoTo Assist Express. If you're in tech support, solve problems fast with the leader in remote support software, GoTo Assist Express. For a free 30-day trial, visit gotoassist.com/night. And by Hover.com. Hover is domain name registration and management that's simple. For 10% off your new domain, go to night.hover.com. It's time for Net at Night from Petaluma, California in the U.S. of A. I'm Leo Laporte.
And I'm Amber MacArthur from Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, Canada.
Hey, Amber MacArthur from Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, Canada. How are you?
Good. I'm really good. I'm still on PEI, so it's wonderful. I just went out and picked up some lobster that we're going to have after Net at Night.
Okay.
Super excited for that. I don't know if you're a lobster fan, Leo, are you?
I am. Yeah. Now, I know PEI is famous for its oysters.
Yes, Malpec oysters especially are pretty popular. I'm a big oyster fan as well. They have tons of great seafood. They're also famous for their mussels.
Ah.
So PEI mussels are served a lot in some of the best
restaurants. I'm famous for my mussels too, you know. No, I lied. I'm not.
It's true.
So lobsters, mussels, and oysters.
And oysters,
It's an embarrassment of riches. How wonderful.
Yeah, it's a pretty good place to be in the summertime, Leo. There's a couple of months in the summer where I have to say there's no better place to spend a vacation. Especially with kids.
Oh, really? Whose kids are these?
Well, my brother's here with his twins, and they're two.
Does anybody Connor's age? Oh, okay. So they're pretty close.
Yeah, they're pretty close. And then I have about 4 million cousins here, and some of them have kids as well. So my parents have a handful of things to do with the kids, so it's a lot of fun.
Connor's lucky. His cousins are so great, and they get to go up there. And I mean, I know he's a little bit small right now to remember it, but he will. Someday.
Oh, yeah, but still, just taking him out to the beach and everything, it's been really nice.
Fun. Well, we've got a guest today that I'm very curious about because his website is GetGlue.com. Is this a glue? Do we have an Elmer's glue baron on or what?
Well, you know what? I just heard of this site recently, and it is a social network where people can go and they basically share their recommendations and their likes and dislikes. They have quite a lot of traffic, and it's funny, I read about them on Mashable. I guess they have about 1 million people checking in there using their service every single week, which is pretty substantial. And now it's a little bit different than Foursquare where you check in at a location. The idea here is that it's based on things that you like the show Dexter, which I know we both like. You would share that on GetGlue, and then you would get a badge based on how many times you've checked in and shared that information. So, again,
so it's like Foursquare for entertainment.
Exactly. So not location-based, but it's growing pretty well, and Alex is going to come on and join us and talk a little bit more about that. They have an iPhone app, and I believe an Android app is either in the works or maybe it is out now.
Well, good. We'll find out. I use both, as you know, although I've become lately a big fan of the Droid X. Have you? You don't have that up there yet. I don't know if you do.
No, I don't. I mentioned before.
The Milestone is what you use.
Milestone, yeah. So the Droid, and just loved it. You know, definitely one of my favorite smartphones so far.
Yeah. Well, let's get some links out of the way, and then we'll get Alex on the horn here. Starting with the Kindle. What a big day for the Kindle yesterday.
I know. I was reading about this everywhere. So people who are fans of the Kindle, this news just came out that the Kindle Kindle books have been outselling hardcovers now for the past 3 months on Amazon. Pretty substantial. So for every 100 hardcover books that have been sold, there are 140 Kindle books sold.
Wow.
And You know, Leo, you probably remember a time not that long ago when we were talking about ebooks and saying, well, will they ever be able to surpass hardcover books? And you know, people had doubts, but here we go. You know, this has not been that long since the Kindle's been available, and already amazing news, I think, for the publishing industry. But I was a bit surprised.
Yeah. And also, apparently, with the quarterly results that Amazon announced, the Kindle sales have been up every month this quarter. So people aren't just reading on the iPad and the iPhone. They're reading on Kindles, and they're buying Kindles in record numbers.
I know. You know what I wonder, though, Leo? I mean, you've had the experience of publishing a book before. And I wonder, you know, as much as I said, you know, this is great for publishers, the reality is, though, publishers, a big thing that they do is they get your books into stores. I mean, that's kind of their job. And I wonder what will happen, you know, when things go this direction. Because if you think about it, if all of a sudden you can just publish your own book and you don't care about distribution, then it puts the publisher in a different place. But hopefully they'll adapt.
Well, if Amazon, I mean, this has been happening for a while, that Amazon's been replacing bookstores, but now you don't even have to have a physical book. You could sell it on a Kindle only or an ebook reader only. I think it's great. I think it's interesting. It's wonderful news for both publishers and for authors. But you know what surprises me, and I don't know if you were in this camp, but I poo-pooed the idea of ebooks. I thought, oh, people aren't going to like ebooks. They're going to. I always said it's not going to be our generation, or yours or mine, because we're really not in the same generation. But it's going to be my kids' generation who will grow up with ebooks, who maybe they'll accept them. But in fact, it is every generation that's reading ebooks now.
Yeah, it really is. You know, I felt the same way. I thought I'll always love sitting down with an actual physical book. But the reality is when I've tried out some of the ebook readers, I played around with the Sony Reader recently. I really enjoyed the experience. I mean, I love the experience on the iPad. And, I don't know if it's necessarily better, but I think in a lot of ways it's more convenient. You don't have to carry around books. If you're traveling, it's great. And so, my mind has definitely been changed just by playing around with the devices themselves.
Yeah, my mom loves the Kindle. I mean, as a senior, she loves the Kindle. My wife loves the Kindle, and she is as much of an anti-electronics person as you can get.
I know. It seems like that breakthrough device in some ways, you know? It really, like you said, it breaks through the different generations, and people who love books, once they get one in their hands and actually play around with it, they love the idea that they can fit so many books on it, and the reading experience is good. I mean, I know Chris is such a fan of the iPad. We actually bought an iPad to share, and I can never, ever use it. And he reads books all the time in bed, and I mean, it's just beautiful. I want to just grab it away from him because, you know, it's well lit, and, you know, it's in some ways a lot better than having a book. Yeah, I never thought I would say that, but I think it's true.
The Kindle is here to stay. And
It sure
by the way,
is.
now I hear Sharp is going to do an ebook reader. You're seeing Barnes & Noble and Borders both have ebook readers. The problem is, and this is going to become a bigger and bigger problem, they're all different formats. I like the Mobi format fine, but I think EPUB, which is an open standard, and by the way, is a standard that Apple's supporting, we're going to need to see EPUB. We're going to need to see DRM go away. Otherwise, you know, your ebook reader won't work with his ebook reader, won't work with your... I mean, it's...
I know. Frustrating.
It's very frustrating. On the other hand, I guess if you buy everything from Amazon, the Kindle's everywhere you want to be. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so our next piece of news is from Google. Google Images has undergone a major redesign. And now when you check out their search page, when you're searching for images, they'll have up to 1,000 images on a single page.
Oh, that's interesting, because Bing did that. And people were complaining that it was a long, long, infinite scroll of images. I guess people like that.
Yeah, you know, I guess people do like it. It's funny. I use Google Images all the time. I mean, it's something that I don't want to say a daily basis, but every couple of days I check out something on Google Images. Now, I can't see this yet on Google. I don't know if you're
can.
able to
Look at
see it.
this.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, and by the way, that is not my stomach. I don't know why anybody would even think about doing that. So I searched for pictures of me, and now this is that new format where, and when you hover the mouse over it, it gets bigger. It gives you the link, it gives you more information about it, where it's from. This is really
nice.
this is dare I say it, Bingish.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, it's a major improvement. I know I was checking out Google's blog, and they mentioned that they haven't really done anything to that page or that whole experience since 2001. So it's been a long time before they've had significant tweaks on that page. You know, from what I'm seeing, just from watching you scroll up and down the screen and all the images, and like you said, you can roll over. It's pretty snazzy.
There's Abby. Oh, when she was a little girl.
Aw, it's just fun. I mean, it's like this online photo album that it reminds me of kind of the Flickr experience a little bit, how they changed recently to have more photos on the page, and you can see the photos as a bigger view.
And look at the search choices on the left here now. You can choose colors. You can say, I want to see faces only. I want to see clip art or line art only. I only want to see black and white pictures, and somehow it knows.
I know.
That's pretty slick.
It is pretty slick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
that reminds me of Etsy a little bit. Remember when we first interviewed the guys from Etsy, and they had the color search on the site, and still do. That feature reminds me a little bit of that.
Look, if I click yellow, it does images that predominantly have yellow in it, which includes you because of your yellow hair. Green is, that's really amazing. So, and the green turns up Waz's green laser shot. I mean, this is quite amazing. Any size, you could say exactly what size. You can. Boy, I have to say, these are the social results. So I guess this is images from social networks.
Yeah, from Twitter and Facebook and elsewhere.
Very nice.
It's pretty nice. I mean, think about it too. I know you do some speaking, and if you're putting together a presentation, or you're just looking for images on Google just for fun to use in some capacity, and you can actually sort them by the color. I mean, it really changes the whole experience, because it was kind of a simplified, clunky sort of system before. I think it looked very 1990s in some ways, but they've stepped it up, and they are. And I just read a little bit about this. It looks like they are going to be attaching ads, though, and I think this is kind of the motivation to really revamp the search based on the fact that there are so many Google Images. I think, they have here, Google Images receives 1 billion page hits every single day.
Holy cow.
And so now I'm guessing soon you'll be able to see, people will be able to have ads served up on the Google Images results. And that could be even more popular than just text ads. Who knows?
Wow. We're going to come back in just a second and talk to our guest about GetGlue, but before we do that, I want to tell you about my friends at Citrix, the folks who do GoTo Assist Express. We started using GoTo Assist Express way back when. Actually, I don't think it was Express back then, at the screensavers, to help people with their computers. Now, support professionals, IT fellas and gals, anybody who has to help people with their computers are just flocking to GoTo Assist Express. It's fast, it's easy, it's affordable. And now you can try it free for 30 days. Just go to gotoassist.com/night, and you'll have it installed before I'm done talking. Now, when somebody's on the line with you saying, I got a problem, can you come over? Can you fly across the country? You just say, no problem. Let me send you a link. You just send them a link, or you can send them to the GoTo Assist site. They don't even have to have the software installed ahead of time. They just enter in the ID, and boom, you're in the computer fixing it. You can do 8 sessions at the same time. You can do unattended sessions if you want. You even get a survey of what kind of software is on that computer, what operating system, security software, anything running in the background. It's really designed to make your support task, your support life easier, to make you a support hero. That's why I want you to try it free right now. Go to assist.com/night for 30 days free. PCs, Macs, support Macs from PCs, support PCs from Macs, and vice versa, and round and round. 128-bit SSL encryption, so you can even support somebody who's sitting at a Starbucks or an open access point. You don't have to worry about that. And, of course, customer service for you 24/7. Go to Assist. I bet they use Go to Assist. Go to assist.com/night. We thank, that's very meta, isn't it? We thank them for their support
is very meta.
of Net at Night. Couple more quick links before we get Joe on the line.
Yeah, or Alex, I think.
Alex.
But
I keep saying Joe.
It's okay.
Alex is
All
ready.
right.
It says on this Post-it note. Alex is ready.
All right, so let's do one quick link.
Okay.
This is a company that I think just released this piece of software. It's called Tone Check. Now, it works with Microsoft Outlook, and the idea behind it is that it checks your email tone before you send it. I love this idea, because how many of us have been sitting there writing an email to someone we work with, and it could be a little negative, a little harsh, and we wish that we didn't send it.
So it's like, that was too harsh, man.
Yeah, and so the idea, again, is it just kind of goes through your email. It tells you if it thinks something is inappropriate, or if it sounds like it is an angry tone, and then it offers you the opportunity to tweak it before you send it. So it's kind of neat, and I thought, okay, well, this isn't going to work that well. I bet you it's pretty simplistic. But they have a demo on their website at just tonecheck.com, where you can walk through the experience and see what it's like. And so what you'll do is you'll be able to go through. They have one example where a manager has written sort of a harsh message to someone, and you go through the tone check, and it tells you, okay, well, this was a little bit angry. Do you want to change this now? And then you can proceed with the email. So available right now with Microsoft Outlook.
Oh, so it's like a little button on your Outlook bar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really slick.
Wow.
Very slick. Just like a little button takes you through,
so
through
Bob
the steps.
wrote, Dear Danielle, I trust all is well with you and you're having a great day. I wanted to touch base, see how you're making out with the proposed materials I sent. Do you understand them? Are you ready to move forward and close the deal? I know this type of decision does not come lightly. It is either time to solidify matters or move on. Looking forward to hearing from you soon. And then you click the tone check button, and it analyzes the message, and it says, your message exceeds your tone tolerance.
Yeah.
And then you could say, okay, so it shows you your mood. So when you write, I trust all is well with you and you're having a great day, that says contented. So that's okay, right? But maybe he doesn't want to be too contented. But then it is time to either solidify matters or move on, angry. So you might want to change that one. So it tells you both directions, angry and too happy.
Exactly. So then you can change it and make the change. You accept it. It goes right into your email, and then you can send it. And I mean, there are those people who don't really understand how one little line in a fairly friendly email can really set someone off because the tone is not necessarily appropriate.
Wow.
I think it's a pretty cool tool and something that will be useful to a lot of people.
Do you think I mean, we've seen grammar checkers before, and I always kind of poo-pooed them like, oh, come on. It's not, it would always give you boneheaded suggestions, but I guess we've come a long way. I wonder how well this works. I'd really like to try it. I don't have Outlook, unfortunately.
You know what, though, Leo? They're going to be releasing it for web-based email clients, so it's just a matter of time before the rest of us who aren't Outlook users will be able to try it out and see. And I think, maybe it's not for everybody, but again, there are those people who tend to write emails where the tone is a little bit off, and I think it will be especially helpful to them. And I'm sure some employees around the world will agree with this based on how their bosses say things in emails.
No kidding, really. Well, we all, and I'm a boss now, and we all kind of forget that, I'm not used to being a boss, so I forget that my mood impacts people. I usually think, oh, they don't care what I think, but you're the boss, they kind of do care what you think, and so there's some subtle nuance you kind of have to pay attention to all of a sudden.
Yep, so another cool tool to hit the web.
Well, let's get our guest on. Alex Iskold, it's great to talk to you. So how did you get the idea for GetGlue?
Well, we've been kind of at it for a little bit, and we thought, wouldn't it be cool if you can kind of like see what your friends are watching, what they're reading, what they're listening to? Just a basic way to connect with friends around entertainment, because we're all consuming a lot of shows, a lot of movies, reading a lot of books, and listening to music. Wouldn't it be cool if we could just interact with other fans and friends around it? So that's kind of how the idea came about.
Why do you think people would want to use something like this versus just using Twitter to share that type of information?
Well, it's a great question, and there's like a very different qualitative experience when you just pivot on specific things, like because when you're looking at like Twitter stream, there's like a whole bunch of stuff mixed up in there, and like news and personal updates. But like let's say it's Sunday night and a whole bunch of people are watching True Blood, and you can kind of see, all your friends who are watching, and, you can kind of like follow along with the show and express what you're saying, and then kind of see that sort of thread of conversation around the specific show and around specific time becomes really interesting.
Now, something that's become really popular in the social networking world is the whole idea of liking things on Facebook. How has that had an impact on what you guys are trying to do?
Well, there's a really interesting thing that we're learning about, sort of the interplay between check-ins, likes, and recommendations. What we're finding out is that people are really excited about checking in and sharing what they're doing right now, like what they're listening to, the movie that they're watching, or a TV show. But then people also want to be able to go in and kind of build up their taste profile. So like I read a couple hundred books in my life, watched like 1,000 movies, listened to a whole bunch of music. Here's what I'm about. Here's kind of like my entertainment preferences, and then being able to get recommendations for new sort of like stuff that I may enjoy is really interesting. So we're kind of finding out that check-ins, likes, and then recommendations are all kind of part of part of the same, entertainment consumption cycle. So, and in a lot of ways, Facebook likes are just sort of like a very light way, of saying I like something. And with GetGlue, you also get personalized recommendations based on top of these likes.
And then you also have kind of a Foursquare style stickers to give. And I see that, for instance, the exclusive stickers for Dexter, Weeds, the United States of Terror, and Californication, those are from our friends at Showtime. So this is almost like an advertisement. Warner Brothers, Random House. Do they pay you for these stickers?
These stickers are done right now in partnerships with these large brands, and we are super excited about having them in the system. They're absolutely fantastic. There's
PBS, O'Reilly.
People are totally loving the ideas of stickers. There's one interesting thing about our stickers is they're actually physical as well as digital. So after you earn a whole bunch of them, you can head over to getglue.com and say, mail me my stickers.
Oh, I like that.
They show up in the mail, and people are sticking them on their laptops, desks, and people are just having a ton of fun. You can order stickers for free. Every month, you can order a set of new stickers that you just earned.
Apparently, I've already joined, and I didn't even know it because I tried to sign up, and it said, "Oh no, you already signed up." So I join all of these social networks in great numbers, and I always forget. So I'm going to try to log in right now. Maybe I've even earned some stickers. That would be kind of fun.
So how would you go about getting like the Dexter exclusive sticker? I mean, is it something where you have to watch a certain number of shows? What's the experience like there?
There's a couple of different dynamics for these. So some of them are secret, so I can't really tell you. But it's that's kind of part of the excitement around them. But there's a concept of a fan where if you check in a bunch of times, you will get like a Dexter fan sticker, or if you check in some more, you may get like a super fan. And then there is so-called like secret stickers where you kind of have to know what to do, or like check in with a specific phrase from the show in order to unlock the sticker. And, you can see like people are chatting with each other trying to figure out like, hey, how do you get this sticker? And it's kind of fun.
If we wanted to do a TWiT sticker, we could call you and make a partnership, huh? Make a deal, huh?
Absolutely, yeah. We'd be absolutely delighted. We're huge fans, and in fact, I think there's entire Adaptive Blue crew right now watching you, and you have a big following here.
That would be really fun. I think this is. I like that idea. It's really innovative to have a physical something. Nobody does that. We're all kind of virtual bits oriented,
Well, I was eavesdropping on your conversation about books, and I think this is actually really interesting because we're sort of in between being digital and physical, and kind of having this, physical sticker as a sort of like a really simple human way of like saying, hey, I got the sticker, it's really awesome. You want to trade? What's your sticker? Like, here's, just passing it to friends. Just creates this really interesting connection. I think still important for us to be able to do this sort of like, small physical objects and physical achievements.
I agree, yeah.
So how are most people using it? Are they using, I know you have an iPhone app right now. Are most people using this on a mobile device? Are they actually just coming to the website to check in and connect with people?
We have a lot of users are checking in through the iPhone. That's kind of primary use case for the iPhone app is, you're sitting on the couch, you're watching TV, or, you're in the office listening to the music. You can check in. Most people check in through the iPhone, and then a lot of people head over to getglue.com because it's sort of like richer experience to build up their taste profile and to browse around and kind of like find other users and get suggestions, kind of like get new ideas. So it's mostly, if you're sort of like, on the go, you want to check in, you use the iPhone app, and then kind of like for more fun and deeper engagement, you head over to the website.
So, and when people have something like a recommendation or something that they like, can you differentiate between companies that have come on board and maybe are paying to be part of the GetGlue experience, or as an individual, can you just add content categories? How does that work?
Okay, great question. So their suggestions are completely non-paid. They are either done by our automated engine. We have like a collaborative filtering engine that we built, or we actually have this really cool concept of a guru, which is sort of like the most knowledgeable person about an object. So there's a guru for, American Beauty, the movie. There's a guru for Dexter, the TV show. There's a guru for Muse, the band, and they're highly contested. And so if you're a guru, you can actually tweak suggestions and you can add more stuff and say, hey, sort of the algorithm recommends this, but I think people will also find these other things interesting. So they would kind of like edit our pages. As a guru, you have an ability to sort of like tweak recommendations for others. And then in terms of the placements, there is a very clear difference between, we have two types of stickers. One type is sort of sponsored, and we make it very clear that it's a sponsored sticker like PBS or Showtime and so forth. And then we also have some glue stickers that are made by us.
It's kind of addictive just to I'm sitting on the homepage and just watching what everybody likes. And there's something sort of inspiring about just seeing all of the different recommendations.
This is a whole category now. I mean, you look at Plancast, you look at Blippy, these Twitter-like engines where it's kind of more specific to what people are up to now in a specific category. So I see a lot of people liking Mac Break Weekly or Net at Night. That's kind of fun. Yeah, this is really cool. It turns out I did have an account. I can't remember when I signed up for it, but I love it. It's really fun. So what's next for GetGlue?
We're working on a couple of really exciting things. One, you'll see a whole bunch of new stickers from some really interesting partners. We're super excited about that. We're working on the Android app, which has been, just it's amazing to me how many people send us angry emails.
Yeah, like, I was about to send you one.
So that's really great. We're thrilled, and we're also working on the iPad app.
Oh, cool.
So that's kind of like neat term. Coming.
It seems like there's an opportunity here to combine the content in some way, so that if especially on an iPad, where you maybe could buy the content, or you've got a larger screen, you could if somebody rented a movie, you could say, I want that on my Netflix queue, things like that. Are you looking at that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely very keen on kind of like giving people more ways to to interact with the content. And, on an iPad, it's what you said, the device is so much richer than the iPhone in terms of real estate. We want to make certain things just should be like really spectacular in terms of like rating things. We want to delight users with, a really fun and rich iPad experience.
Yeah, that's exciting. There's a lot of opportunity here. I'm going to like that movie. I'm going to...
I know. That's what I'm getting sucked into. Well, it's a very cool service. I'm sure we'll be using it. It's funny because I always say to Leo, we're always talking about, what's going to be kind of the next new thing in social networking. And it's been a while since sort of Blippy has come out, but I think this site has our service has some good possibilities in the future.
And I have to put my money where my mouth is, because I said, I don't want Facebook to own the like space. I think it would be inappropriate for one company just be we are the like button and everything goes through Facebook. And by the way, I think they have more than 1 billion likes now. I just saw the stat. So if there's something like this that I can participate in, and another place to like stuff and to share recommendations, this is great.
Fantastic. Well, we look forward to having you on the service.
Good. I'm going to play with it more. I wonder when I joined, because this is an old picture of me. I must have joined it some time ago. Yeah. How long have you been around?
The site launched in November 2009.
Yeah, typical of me. I probably joined it right away and forgot all about it. Alex, great to talk to you. Good luck with GetGlue.com.
Thanks a lot.
Alex.
Yeah, great to talk to you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. This is fun. I want to play with it some more, Amber. I think it's just it's a really neat idea. Well, but I love these recommendation engines. I stopped using Blippy. The problem is there's so many of them, right? Where do you want to live? Where do you want your stuff to be?
But what I like about this, I think, and I still like Blippy, but I like the fact that you can kind of go in. It's not necessarily tied to get any of your account information.
This has a lot of the same value as Blippy.
It definitely does.
Yeah.
But I think Blippy scares people because, you know, as soon as I tell people about Blippy, they freak out because they think that, oh, okay, I'm going to share my account information with them, my credit card information. They really are concerned about it. Where something like this, where, you know, it's not tied to that type of personal content, I think people will be a little more inclined to maybe participate.
Right. Well, I am Leo Laporte on GetGlue. And
of course you are. You're already there. See, Leo, I can't surprise. I kind of surprise you, but then I can't really.
You remember at the beginning, I said, "Well, so what is GetGlue?" I have no idea. And then I go there, and apparently I'm on there. I made an account.
That's funny.
And by the way, we've bogged it down a little bit, so go back and visit it later because I think everybody's joining GetGlue. Coming up in just a little bit, we do have our video of the week and our app of the night. We'll talk about that in just a bit. But right now, I want to talk about Hover.com. Your friends at
my friends at Two Cows. They just came out with a new service called Hover where you can register your domain names, and they have a fantastic website. It's very user-friendly. It's a different experience than some of the other domain places that you may have used in the past. You can actually call, in terms of getting customer service, a person on the telephone, believe it or not, Leo, and someone will answer the phone within a few rings. So great back-end customer support. Chris has been using it for a while, and he loves domain names. He has literally dozens and dozens of them, and he's been trying out the service and has only good things to say about it. And I know, Leo, you've been using it for
we use it now. We created a corporate account. All of our domain name registrations now go through Hover. I love that no hold policy for customer service. That's during business hours, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time. You're guaranteed no hold. You get somebody right away. Which is just fantastic, and I'm with you on not selling a lot of services. It's domain name registration, and that's kind of the key.
They won't try to, at the end of the process of registering domain names, you're trying to be upsold all the time. I mean, this really won't do that to you. So I think especially for people who just want to go in and manage their domain names and email addresses, all that type of content, they can do this really easily using the service, and they'll be very satisfied about the experience and the customer support. So for anyone, especially newbies on the web, this is a fantastic place to register your domain name.
They have on the site, it says, why does Leo love Hover? We're not hot. We're not sexy. We don't drive fast. And a reference, of course, to that other service, which I just really don't like. I don't like their sexist commercials. I don't like all the upsell that they do. They say it must be our clean interface, simple tools, honest pricing, and outstanding customer service, and that's exactly right. If you want domain forwarding with no email, they'll do that as well. Or with email, you can get up to 6 email boxes. That's kind of nice. It's my recommendation, if you haven't done this yet, instead of being, say, ambermac@gmail.com, it's a really good idea to get your own domain, as you do, ambermac.com, and use that and have Hover forward it to Gmail or whatever service. That way, if you want to change from Gmail to another service, you don't have to tell anybody anything. You just change Hover's forwarding. Domain and email forwarding is just huge. I think it's really important. Everybody should have their own domain name, even if you don't have a website. And it's so much more professional if you've got, Joe's Drywall, to have it not be Joe's Drywall at gmail.com, but Joe at joesdrywall.com. And Hover can do that for you very easily, very affordably. Save 10% if you're a Net at Night user by going to night.hover.com. Night.hover.com. You can transfer your domains there. That's what we did. Or if you've got an idea for a great domain, joesdrywall.com is taken. You can go there and try it out. They have .com, .net, .org, .biz, .info, .ca, .us, .cc, .tv, .bz. You get the idea. They got them all.
They have it all.
Hover, H-O-V-E-R, and go to night, night.hover.com for 10% off right now. We thank them for their support of the Net at Night show and their support of Amber and Andy and Sean and the whole gang, because Two Cows is just great. It used to be, what was it, Domains? What did they used to? Domains Plus, something like that?
Yeah.
Hover's the new name. Domains Direct, that was it.
Domains Direct, yeah.
Hover's the new name.
Hover's the new thing, and it's fantastic.
App of the night.
Yes, our app of the night. So this is just a quick little service that I have seen written about online. It's called I Write Like, and it's a fun website where you can go and you can paste a few paragraphs of something that you've written or someone else has written, and you can find out who you write like. It's based on some of the more famous authors out there. I put a few paragraphs in.
Who do you write like?
It says Cory Doctorow, so that was a compliment.
Wow, I'm jealous.
You should try it out, Leo, though.
I'm going to try it. I got to find some writing, first of all.
Yeah.
I'm going through my blog. My last 800 blog posts are pictures. I'm getting so lazy in my old age.
I know. It's too easy now just to post little snippets of content. So
I used to write stuff, you know. I keep saying to myself, just 1 hour a day, Leo. Just write 1 hour a day. And I keep thinking I will, and I just never...
Never do. I kind of hate the process of, okay, I have to sit down and write something, but once I'm sitting there and I start to write, I love
wonderful.
the feeling.
Yeah.
It's so creative, and I really enjoy it. But the before part of it, I'm not a huge fan of.
All right, I'm cutting and
I procrastinate.
It's exactly, it's just sitting down. So here's something, the last thing I wrote, which was January 2010. All right, now let me paste it in. I write like, okay, and analyze. I write like Arthur C. Clarke.
Ooh.
I wonder why they say that. Do they tell you why? That's
It just
really
makes you
cool.
feel good when it says you write like someone famous, so Leo.
It could be a complete lie, but I don't care. I like it.
It's a good ego booster, let's face it.
You were like, we both write like science fiction authors.
I know. It's kind of funny, isn't it?
Finally, our video of the week. Now, we've talked a lot about the Old Spice videos. This is not an Old Spice video.
No, it isn't. There have been some parodies since the Old Spice videos have been.
Did you see O'Docta's?
I don't think so.
Don't.
I bet that. No.
It's scary.
Okay, I won't
It's actually
watch
hysterical. But
Is it?
Oh yeah, but I'm not going to play it on here because, well, it's got some male nudity involved.
Oh, okay.
I guess
okay.
all the Old Spice ones do.
Just from the waist
from the waist up. But O'Doctor from the waist up is
not good. Oh, you know everyone's going there now. Way to go, Leo.
We got something better.
I hope it's better. This is a parody that was done at Brigham Young University in Utah, and it was done by the people who work at the library or administer the library, and it's a parody of the Old Spice videos. And now it is such a parody that some people may think this guy sounds like the guy in the Old Spice campaign, but in fact, it is not him. They found another actor, and he's talking about how it's good to be a scholar and how the library is a great place to learn, and it is fantastic.
Wow. I got to find this now. See, this Old Spice guy, it was such a success that it's now spawned a whole new genre.
It sure has.
Is it this one, New Spice, Study Like a Scholar?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to watch that, and while we do, I'm going to say a fond farewell to you, Amber MacArthur. Enjoy your summertime in beautiful Prince Edward Island, and we will catch up with you again next week. You can watch Amber MacArthur on CP24. She does Web Nation there. You can also watch her great Command N podcast, commandn.tv, which she hosts, and her blog is ambermac.com. Have a great time with Connor and Chris and PEI and your mom and dad and everybody. We
will, and I think we have Felicia Day on next week, so people have to make sure they tune in. I'm sure we have her booked. I'll confirm that.
Oh! I'm going to have to dress up for that show.
You and me both.
Thanks, Amber. We'll see you next time.
Thanks.
On Net at Night.
Hello, scholars. Look at your grades. Now look at mine. Now back at your grades. Now back to mine. Sadly, they're not like mine. But if you stopped studying in a cave and started studying like me, they could be like mine. Look at your shirt. Now back at mine. Look down, back up. Where are you? You're in the library with the man your grades could be like. Did you know that 8 out of 5 dentists say that studying in the library is 6 bajillion times more effective than studying in your shower? Close your eyes. Now open your eyes. Where are you? You're in a beautifully quiet place where you can study. Look at your hand. Now back to me. I have it. It's a laptop with access to bucket loads of library databases. Look again. The laptop is now a celestial sandwich here in the snack zone. Anything is possible when you're in the library. I'm on a cart. Yeah!
That is brilliant.